Hello, it's Adrian Stern here from top10pokersites.net. Now, as you can probably guess from the title of today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the top 10 poker films of all time. And the number 10 top 10 film of all time is High Roller, the Stuart Ungar story. Now, it was released back in 2003. It's 110 minutes long. It's best described as a biography or a drama, and it was directed by A.W. Vidmer. Some of the stars in the film are Al Bernstein, Andrew N.S. Glazer and Brian Kaplan. Now, it's actually based on the true story of the rise and fall of poker legend Stu the Kid Ungar. It's a tribute to him, if you like, but it tells of the ups and downs of playing poker and his private life as well. It's a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it yet, I really advise you to do so. Let's now move on to the 9th best poker film of all time, and that is All In, the poker movie. It was launched in 2009. It's 100 minute long and it's a documentary type film, and it was directed by Douglas Tirola and stars Karen Abbott, Peter Olson, Nick Brancato and Humberto Brenes. It's a documentary focusing on why one of America's oldest games has had a renaissance in the past few years, and why, for so many, poker is the way to chase the American dream. Now, if you are a poker player and you've been having highs and lows, or you're thinking of getting into the game, I'd certainly advise you to watch this film. It's a corker. Like I said, it's called All In, the poker movie. You should be able to still get it online, and it was launched in 2009. Now we have to head back to 2007 for the 8th top 10 poker film of all time. That's Lucky You. It's a drama, romance, sport themed film. It's 124 minutes long and it was directed by Curtis Hanson. It stars Eric Bana, Drew Barrymore, Robert Duvall and Phyllis Somerville. Now, it was a massive grossing film. It grossed some 5.76 million, which isn't bad when you think it's a poker film. Like I said, it's called Lucky You, and it's a film about a hotshot poker player tries to win a tournament in Vegas, but is fighting a losing battle with his personal problems. You might be able to relate to that one if you are a poker player. But there we are, that's Lucky You. Like I say, it was released in 2007, and that's certainly another one to add to your ever-growing list of films to watch. We have to head back to 2008 for the 7th top 10 poker film of all time, and that film's called Deal. It's 86 minutes long and it's a drama. Now, it tells the story of an ex-gambler who teaches a hot-shot college kid some things about playing cards. He finds himself pulled into the World Series of Poker, haven't we all been pulled into that, where his protege is his toughest competitor. Sounds interesting. It was directed by Gil Cates Jr. It stars Burt Reynolds, believe it or not, Brett Harrison, Maria Mason and Shannon Elizabeth. So there we are, that's Deal. So if you're looking for something to watch and you're into your poker and your World Series of Poker, could be one to add to your list. We have to head back to 2003 for the 6th top 10 poker film of all time, and that film is Shade. It's 101 minutes long, it's a crime thriller. It was directed by Damien Nyman. It stars Joel Nicolo, Carl Mazzocorn Sr., George Tovar and Frank Medrano. It's a story about a group of hustlers who encounter the Dean and pull off a successful sting that results in their pursuit by a vengeful gangster. Sounds interesting. That's Shade. Like I said, it was launched back in 2003. It's a crime thriller, so you're not going to really be getting into the poker aspect of it, I suppose. The strategies, the systems and all that lot. But still, it's an interesting take on the game, so if you're interested, that's Shade. Now I've got an absolute corker for you on number 5 on my list of the top 10 poker films of all time, and that is The Grand. It's a comedy, believe it or not, which is unusual for a poker themed film. It was released back in 2007. It's 107 minutes long. Now it's an improvisation comedy using a handful of actors playing characters competing in a natural poker tournament. Now it is an absolute corker of a film. It's hysterically funny. It did well at the box office. It grossed some $8.1 million. It was directed by Zach Penn. It stars Woody Harrelson, David Cross, Dennis Farina and Cheryl Hines. Now if you're looking for a comedy and you want to lift your spirits and you're into your poker, you're absolutely going to love that film. So that's The Grand. It's number 5 on my top 10 list of the best poker films of all time. Now if you haven't yet done so, feel free to subscribe to the channel and also check out the website. That's top10pokersites.net. Got all manner of poker news, poker offers, poker sites, poker reviews, strategies, tips, hints, the works. Get on over to the website if you're interested. Certainly subscribe below. Now the number 4 film on my top 10 list of the best poker films of all time is one you've probably seen actually. It's Casino Royale. It dates back to 2006. It's an action-adventure thriller. It's quite a long film actually, this, so you're going to have to sit there and watch it. It's 144 minutes long, so it is a long one. Well worth watching though. After earning his 00 status and a license to kill, secret agent James Bond sets out on his first mission as 007. Bond must defeat a private banker funding terrorists in a high-stakes game of poker at Casino Royale. Now, it was directed by Martin Campbell. It stars, of course, Daniel Craig as 007 James Bond. Eva Green is in the film as well. Good old Judi Dench and Jeffrey Wright. Now, that was a huge success at the box office. It grossed some $167 million. So that's Casino Royale. Now I think it's true and fair to say that some poker films stay classics forever. That is certainly the case with the number 3 top 10 poker film of all time on my list, and that is the Cincinnati Kid. Now it was released back in 1965, so that could have been before some of you out there were actually born. It's 102 minutes long. It's a drama. It grossed some $15.2 million at the box office, which wasn't bad for a film of its age. It's the story of an up-and-coming poker player who tries to prove himself in a high-stakes match against a long-time master of the game. Now, if you're into your poker, you're absolutely going to love the Cincinnati Kid. It was directed by Norman Jewison. It stars, of course, Steve McQueen, Anne Margaret, Edward G. Robinson and Carl Malden. That's the Cincinnati Kid. Like I say, it was released back in 1965. You're still going to be able to get it, and it's an absolute corker of a film. So let's now move on to the number 2 top 10 poker film of all time, and that is Maverick. It dates back to 1994. It's an action-adventure comedy. It was directed by Richard Donner. Some of the stars of the film you're going to know. It stars people like Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, James Garner and Graham Greene. Now it grossed some $101.6 million at the box office, and it's Brett Maverick, needing money for a poker tournament, faces various comical mishaps and challenges, including a charming woman thief. Now, like I said, it dates back to 1994, so it's been around a lot. It's 127 minutes long, but it's certainly one worth watching. It's got a comedy aspect to it, and I think you're going to love it if you're into your poker. So that's the Maverick, number 2 on my list. And the number 1 poker film of all time is Rounders from 1998. It's a crime drama. It's 121 minutes long. A young reformed gambler must return to playing big stakes poker to help a friend pay off loan sharks whilst balancing his relationship with his girlfriend and his commitments to law school. Now, that was a film that was directed by John Dahl. It stars Matt Damon, Edward Norton, Gretchen Moll and John Malkovich. It grossed some $22.9 million at the box office. It dates back to 1998. Like I said, it's a crime drama. It's certainly one you're going to be love watching if you could actually relate to this film if you are a poker player. And that's Rounders at number 1.